So it's starting to record now. So you and me, we're going to watch this movie again. You don't need to come closer. I'm not going to show your face. The reason it's important for you to watch this is, see, my video will be on here. So you're not even in the camera.
Okay.
The reason is I want you to understand relationship is about having a communication that's not skillful. So we're going to watch a couple who are fighting. You said your husband is the biggest source of love and also biggest source of pain for you, right? Is that my correct assumption? That makes you feel worthless inside. Is that right? And that's why you end up looking for another way to soothe your soul, right? So drug is a relationship you're having because you cannot have that relationship with your husband.
Right.
So we're going to watch this again. We already watched it one time. The reason you feel that way is because inside you're holding an opinion that is imparted by your husband that you need to meet his demand. And because you're not able to meet that demand, you feel you've let yourself down. That's because you on your own don't have any self-confidence. So what we are going to do, that's the whole thing about the powerlessness. The Positive Anonymous 12-step program. This is the same based on AA, except the powerlessness is about our behaviors. Remember, we can never control anybody in this life, okay? The only person we can control is ourselves, okay? So once you understand who you are, what makes you hurt, what makes you not hurt, would release you. The reason you feel powerless is not because of your husband, it's because inside you know you can do better.
Yeah.
And you are letting yourself down each time you use, okay? It's nothing to do with your husband, nothing to do with your world, nothing to do with your family, okay? So how do we take power back? First, we need to understand what is a healthy way to behave, right? So I'm going to teach you a few techniques you can understand how to behave. So my teacher, he teaches 4 techniques for inner power. The first technique is holding an image. He calls it image. I will call it value. Holding yourself so high in your esteem, you wouldn't let yourself fail. No matter how. Like, people go to war, they get their legs blown off, hand blown off. They walk up and make it back to this country. So do you think our pain is so severe, we are going to sue the doctor if our pain doesn't get better? Our whole American system is screwed up, okay? So I don't tolerate that. You can do well in spite of the pain. Kick yourself in the back and get ahead and go. Watch that movie. If you have another movie you can watch, Unbroken. This guy gets to be a prisoner in war. Each time they kick him, he'll stand up one more time. What I'm saying is you are capable of that. You have let yourself go. At some point you've decided, okay, I'm not going to fight this hard for me anymore. You need to get that child back, wherever you lost her. The little girl is inside you who felt the world was not worth fighting for. And I want you to retrieve her. That's the whole purpose of this week, okay? And where is that girl who was lost? Tell me, how old were you?
I don't even remember.
Okay. You need to go back to the childhood, where one day you woke up and said, oh my God, I did everything right. And I was not treated right. So that day we need to relive. But we relive with the adult intelligence, with the child's memory. Okay? So you're not going to live like an adult. Because right now you have children, you have raised them. Yeah. So you don't need to mourn for the daughter that's lost there, right? But there is a piece in you have not honored. That daughter you have not raised. So we need to go bring her back. But to find her, you need to understand a tool set. So what I'm going to give you is the warrior tool set. I'm going to give you a bag with lots of tools. So you go detective work, okay? She's lost to you. You're going to find her together. Just like, remember, people get killed and people will go search for them. The interesting part is they found always when they search, they are always in 5 miles radius. So you're going to track her through the cell phone. Where did she use the phone last? Where did she feel happy last? Okay, so we're going to do that. That's the inner image. The outside is like people are telling you, only by not using your word to be in my life. You are failing, you're a loser because you keep using. So by understanding their rule, because God loves you, even if you sit in jail cell, God is going to love you. Okay, guaranteed you are loved. Don't worry.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, if for some reason you are not allowing that love to shine inside you, there is a piece of God in you. No matter what you do, God is going to love you. Whether you're dead or alive, and whether you do the wrong thing, right thing, whether you're high or low, He's going to love you. Okay, that's not the question. The love is not in question here. It's for the world. They say angels are upset with us because they cannot feel our emotions. So they are always jealous of humans. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
So human being is the most precious thing in life. So don't worry. Okay, you're perfect. You're exactly where you need to be. So what I need to teach you is how to feel inside you are enough, because you're shrinking yourself. We don't need to shrink, because that's what causes vengeance and anger. We don't want to be angry.
Yeah.
Because when people don't treat right, because we think we are better than them, even though we assume a form that tries to fit in with their image, you get insulted. No need to get insulted. No shame inside. You can get screwed up all you want. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Outside, somebody cares, because that's their expectation of success. So if you meet their demand, you're successful. Let's say, you go show them urine being clean for 4 times in a row, even if you screwed up in between and pretended you didn't use, they're going to be happy. Because they just want to be credible, right? Like they want you to have in paper that validation saying, oh, she's doing all the right thing. I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
But if by chance you're doing the wrong thing, even though they're proud of you, you are going to be ashamed of yourself. That's when you create self-doubt. When you create self-doubt, you're going to not trust them when they say they are clean, because they say, oh, I'm capable of screwing up. They are the same. They're just like me. So essentially, if you don't trust you, you're going to not trust them either.
Yeah, right.
You're going to be so mad at them because you screwed up.
Yeah.
But it all comes back to you. And then if by chance one day they say, oh my God, Mama, I'm so proud of you. You say, I hate myself. I wish I had done better. I failed them.
Yeah.
So self-hatred comes in. And then somebody says you are a piece of shit or whatever it is. And you say, I deserve it. And you take that shit.
Yeah.
Why? Because you feel bad inside.
Yeah.
So we're going to stop all this crap. Okay? There's no more crap involved here. So what I'm going to teach you is how to be healthy inside. So let's clean out the rotten self. You're full of pus here. We're going to deal with it. Let it out. The minute you think I'm a victim, poor me, you have rotten egg inside. Okay?
Yeah.
No poor me.
Yeah.
You are very powerful. You're a roaring lion. Okay? So I don't want you to pretend to me you're weak. No more tears. If I see your tears, I'm going to be very stern with you. Okay? That's what DCF says. DCF says you can never cry in front of kids. You never badmouth your husband, and you need to be very strong for them. So I pretend I'm a big bird.
It's so funny. That's what I try to do at home.
And my DCF, I did get involved with DCF because we are so dysfunctional. You wouldn't believe. Look at that poster my son did. He says, we went to a Blue Sea motel. Me with my suitcase, my 3 kids. I did a book called Boring Way to Be Happy with a Dysfunctional Family. So I feel life is about having fun.
Yeah.
Okay, don't let anybody tell you otherwise. My husband will come and say, you're ignorant. So I'll pretend. I'll say, hey, you mean I didn't understand? So we just So what I'm saying is, use whatever tools you have to not be in the bad space.
Right.
Get out of there. You don't need it. And you are very strong.
Yeah.
Actually we had I work in mental health. We had a code. I acted very strong. When I came home or when I went to my call room, I ate for 1 hour nonstop. I had to calm down. So do whatever it takes to be happy.
Okay.
There is nothing wrong in laughing. Okay? And I feel that's the only key. You just have to laugh at yourself in this stupid world.
Yeah.
The whole thing is about that. That's why I have this Zootopia poster. My teacher, he's very spiritual. He says there are only 3 things we need to worry about in life: fear, hatred, or hunger, hunger becomes hatred, like, hoarding.
Yeah.
And then the third thing is lust, which is jealousy. Okay. And he says to pick 3 totem animals. I decided to pick 3 cartoon animals because I love cartoons. So the lust animal is Bunny Rabbit. We produce her when she becomes a cop. Have you seen this movie? You should watch it, Zootopia. The hatred animal is like Fox. He's the con artist.
Yeah.
And the animal that is for what is the third one? The Fia. Fia animal is sloth. He runs the R&B, the registered motor vehicles. And the sloth, who is so slow, gets a speeding ticket. His name is Flash. So what I'm saying is make it so much fun. Okay, so I'm going to play this video. We are going to watch it together. And I want you to tell me what you got out of it, okay?
What can you be certain will happen?
How am I meant to be true to myself if I have 4 children that rely on me and a controlling husband?
Now, how do you define controlling?
Did it hurt?
Oh, that was very warm. Stand up. You stood up for a reason. It's time to handle this. Come on, stand back up.
I think the biggest thing I can do for her is let her go instead of trying to hold her back.
And how are you holding her back?
I think through my fears of losing her.
Does she really want to go?
Deep down, I don't think so, but yeah, she's told me she has.
What she's really trying to do is get you to show up being man because you love the woman, you don't know what to do.
He's not a pussy. He's got everything he wants.
Really? He doesn't have you happy. I wanted you. Well, there's the answer. It's not in your head. The answer's in his face. I want you to tell him what you're really feeling. And the whole time she does this, I want you totally present.
I'm scared to tell him things to get angry.
I know you're scared. I'm asking you to trust him right here because if he does, I'll just punch him. And when you want to love her when she seems crazy, she'll trust you. And when she trusts you, she'll open to you. When she opens to you, you're going to feel like a man again. Her job is to try to hurt you. Your job is to show nothing will ever hurt me because I love you. You can scream, you can yell, you can smack me. You're never getting away. I will take care of you forever.
And it's constant negative crap in the house all
The more
the
she
time.
does this, become more of a man. She's doing everything she can say to hurt because she's hurting so bad and saying you really love her. Because most men would
If
have run.
you did, I wouldn't be feeling like this. You would be showing me.
She's
You'd
got
be
a hell of a
supporting me.
bag, doesn't she? She's got a great bag of tricks.
Keep coming, baby.
Oh,
Be a man and tell her the truth. Why don't you have her heart? What have you been and how will it be different? And all she's doing is begging you, prove it to me. Prove it to me. Make my soul feel. Your job is to
At
open
some
her.
point she smiles. That is when she knows she loves him. See, the thing is, just by eyesight. So now she says, "You got me." She's beating him not because she hates him, but she says, "In spite of you treating me like this, I love you."
I've been with him 18 years. That it's like when he I tell him sometimes I stay with him. I broke down one time and God forgive me, but I always when I was little always wrote my feelings on a piece of paper. And I had called my sister and I was crying. She said, "What's the matter?" I goes, "I hate him so bad for what he has done to me. My son that I got OD in a bathroom. Or my son when it was a love from a male because he never had with his dad. And he resented my son until my son died. I want to hurt him so bad, you know what? And I'm calling you because I'm scared right now. Because I wrote it on a piece of paper how I'm going to kill him and kill myself. She says, "Diana, don't talk like that." It is. She asked me, "Where is the essay?" I don't know. He come home. When he did finally come home, I told him. I sat down, I said, and I was crying. He says, "What's the matter with you now?" I said, "I want you to understand something. You're hurting me so bad inside that when I lay next to you, my mind just runs and tells me to kill you." I said, "But I don't, and I know once I do that, I have to kill myself because I'm not going to spend the rest of my life in jail. In the same way that you hurting me, you hurt my son, I want to hurt you. And I don't want, and I'm scared. I want us to be able to talk why is it that you're always like, I feel like you're more my enemy than my partner. And it's scary. I said, you have no idea what's running through my mind.
And when did it happen? How long ago?
About 2 months ago.
And your son is a stepson to him? So he was not biological. And how old was your son when he overdosed?
My son was 33 years old.
Okay. So first of all, in America, I'm going to talk American way. Okay. First of all, he's an adult. Him living with you still shows that he was not capable of taking care of himself. Okay. Sometimes males parent differently. What you were seeing was different from what was happening. Which is he was able to withstand that assault. He was stood up for himself and walked away. His relationship with your husband is not what you need to worry about. Your relation, the only thing you can show your son is you are loving him unconditionally, which you already did. And your husband's relationship with his stepson is not your business. I mean, like, you cannot control him.
Yeah.
You cannot, like, you can only step back and watch, right?
Yeah.
So that is the first thing you need to understand. You cannot control another person's life. Can you go and make somebody change their habits? Like, you could have never changed your son's habits of using, okay? You cannot control him either. He's going to get high no matter what. And he was looking for a place to stay and things to use. And, so he has his own dynamic. Your husband has his own dynamic. And you are coming from a place where you want to appease everybody, which is not going to work.
Right.
So the only thing is, like, that's why it's very important to attend meetings, because the meetings, they teach something called detachment. That is, you're not attached to the outcome, but at the same time, you are doing everything legally right. In America, number one is legal right.
Yeah.
Second thing is morally fair, because that's why we have judge and jury. Okay. So you need to understand what's your expectation with your son. The only thing you can provide is roof over your head, clothes to give, and food to eat. You did all that as a mother, so there stops the guilt.
Yeah.
What he does with his life is on his own.
I know.
And as a mother, you always give him a place to stay. So you are complete there. So don't worry about that. About your husband and his relationship, he has to deal with his demons.
Yeah,
What you're trying to do is create a vengeance in your heart. Vengeance comes from lust. Lust comes from telling that you have a better way of loving your son than God's way of loving. You're trying to play God in your son's life. It's not going to work. But you need to honor that space that you let your son down in some reason as a God. So I'm going to bring up an example. My dad raised me very poor. And I hated, the poverty. And my mom said, only by being a doctor, you'll get us out of poverty. She died of poverty. Her hemoglobin was 4. And she was so anemic, they gave her a blood transfusion. And she developed pulmonary and hepatic damage. They gave her steroids, all bone rotted, and she died essentially of malnutrition. Okay.
Yeah.
So then I said, my dad needs to be released of poverty. So I came to US. I got married in America. And I'm thinking here, I'm getting rid of poverty for my dad's sake. He came afterwards, and every year I paid off his debt, still in debt. Then he went and got married, still in debt. I said, Dad, you are never getting out of debt. He says to me, getting out of debt is your dream. It was never my intention. I said, oh my God, you could have told me 40 years ago, right? I could have spared myself. Here I'm stuck in America. I cannot even go back. I was so pissed off. So I yelled at him. As though he was my God. Said, how dare you raise me to work? How dare you?
Yeah.
And then I look at him, he's totally checked out. He's so used to being yelled at by me. And I say, thank God. So then afterwards, I'm like saying, because I used to feel guilty when I go to hotel. My husband, I told him, my dad always used to pawn all my mom's gold. Never give me any gold. First Christmas, he buys me 2 gold bangles. I said, what? And so he says, I got married to you not for your crappy lifestyle. He says, whether you like it or not, I'm going to teach you luxury. I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God,
Right?
so
It's so funny. So I said, okay, Dad. I said, I am going to honor a piece in me, which is going to be always poor man's daughter. Okay, whether I like it or not. So I wear actually glass bangles, and I wear my own ring I made because my mother-in-law wanted me to be a dolphin to have fun. So it's called strand feeding dolphin. They are in Hilton Head in South Carolina.
Oh yeah.
So they flop their tail, and the fish will come and they eat bread and breakfast. So I said, oh, that's perfect. And the reason I did this ring is I went to South Carolina, Hilton Head. My husband takes me on all fancy vacation. Okay, I'm forced to have vacation. The only place where we complain about vacation is our family. We went on so many hotels. They are so appalled at us. So they actually say they are going to run away.
You're awesome.
So when I went there, they had this machine that you put 2 quarters in and penny will make a memory. So that is what it is. So I actually, the third one, it said South Carolina, Hilton Head. I put my prayer in. I made my own mold. So I have my own. And this I sell now, and I'm very rich. Poor man's daughter can never be poor. You know, it's like, whatever I do, I make money. You know, I tell them, like, you know, I have a way of attracting money no matter what I do.
Yeah.
They say, one guy, when I was talking, is my neighbor. He does car repair. He says, come talk to us 5 minutes. We'll pay you. He does my oil change free. So I feel part of it is in our
great.
It's all in our mind.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying I never want you to cry. Okay. The third thing is, like, you know, say, let's come back to my topic, which is inner image, outer image, because we have only 4 powers. The third one is, if somebody says, only if you're clean, I'm going to love you. Otherwise, you're not worthy of my love.
Right.
That means they're controlling you, right? But if you allow them to control you, it shows you love them. That's also okay. The outer image is also okay. Other image is also okay. And then the last one, if you feel so rotten inside, you are useless to another person, go to the meeting and share what you have. Because by making another person feel hopeful, you are automatically reset inside. Because God gives you so much joy. You, by just doing that, you are going to create the joy in. When you create the joy in, people cannot resist but laugh in your presence. You know, there is no way they can cry, right? Like you,
right now.
Yeah. So I feel, did you think I give you money? I didn't give you money. I didn't. The only thing I gave you is time. In India, God is essence of time. When you are ripe, it shows because you're coming from the complete place. It's called completion. So what I'm going to show you is what that completion looks like. Remember, so what we are going to do is go to this space called Completion.Training. It will take you to my teacher's place. And the lesson, like, you know, you will log in with your Google account. If you don't have computer, that's fine. You can go to the library and do it, or I can do it in paper with you.
Okay.
So the first one is science of listening. If you can listen, it'd be good. There are lots of homework. So what I'll do is, like, one by one, I'll train you how to listen better and stuff. Listening is listening without your motivation. You shouldn't have any intention of an outcome. You just listen. Like, you know, we had a code, like code meaning, like, you know, a child was acting out in the mental health hospital. She was spitting at everybody. So I went in and she said, you're going to do no shit anyway. Like, you know, you're just going to stay there. No, do nothing. And I said, I'm going to stay here until you release me. And I said, I'm going to wait as long as I want, because I feel time is very precious. And that's the only way I interact with people. I don't care how many people are waiting. I'm going to spend as much time as possible with you. Because the minute you go from here, I want your heart to be light.
Yeah.
I don't want you to feel, I need to kill my husband to make me feel good. You know, that's like sleeping with the enemy. You should be terrified. And
my sister told me, she goes, don't tell him that, he'll be scared.
I actually have felt the same way. Don't worry. I actually,
feelings. It's not like I'm going to do it. I'm right in my feelings and letting them know what he's creating inside me. And I don't want to feel this way.
You know what? I have done the same thing to my husband. I have been full of hatred sometimes, full of lust, full of all the things you're describing.
Mm.
One day I sat him down and I asked him, Keith, tell me, why do you love me? Why did you marry? No, I didn't say, why did you love me? Because I had always a suspicion he married me for my money. Because I was broke. So I was telling him, Keith, why did you marry me? So I said, did you marry me for my money? I had so much $8,000 in debt.
Oh
You
my
know, here,
God.
nothing.
I didn't know that.
No, he knew it. So he says, what do you mean? The fake money you never had? He always calls me out.
Yeah.
Actually, I have tremendous
Which is
respect
good
for him.
sometimes,
He's
yeah.
24 years sober.
Nice.
He's the reason I'm in addiction. He hates me doing addiction medicine.
Really?
He says, hey, it's about not having any medication. He says my doing Suboxone is creating another space where people can get medicine. People are very rigid, you know that, right?
Mhm.
So he has his own agenda, like, you know, he
Yeah.
feels meeting and working on oneself. That works for some people, but some
Yeah.
people it doesn't.
Exactly.
So, like,
Yeah.
you know, for me, he's the reason, because I felt either I pay back to the people or my kids are going to be high, you know. Like, I would rather not pay with my family. Instead, I can, like, you know, pay with my society so that at
Right.
least that karma comes back to my family
Absolutely.
and my children will be safe.
Yeah.
So I one day asked him, why did you marry me? I said, I know why I married you, because I needed to stay in this country. So he says, he says to me, it was the right thing to do. And I felt so ashamed because I told him, Keith, you know what? God really loves you. So he says, why do you say that? I said, God will never waste me on any man. He was so mad. But that's when I also redirected myself. I said, if God loves him, how dare I not love him? You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I really changed my act afterwards because I feel it's not about him.
Mhm.
If you get a chance, do you read English books?
Yeah, I do sometimes.
Hey, 1 minute. We are almost done. Yes. Okay. So there is a book called If Tomorrow Comes. In that,
They're
it's,
having too much fun in there.
I know, they cannot tolerate it. Don't worry. People get jealous when you laugh. Jerry Springer says the best revenge for a person who hurts you.
Oh my God.
Actually, I wrote it in this. Is for you to be happy. They cannot take it.
I know, right?
That's the best revenge you can do. But anyway, Sydney Shelton, right? This girl, she's a con artist. She's going in a cruise ship. There is another con artist traveling with her, and there is two big chess players, and they make a bet that they will win $1 million if they play chess at the same time with these two guys. But she says, I don't know chess. And he says, don't worry, I'm going to teach you. So they put like this room and then a partition. This guy will be sitting on one side, the other guy on the other side. So she goes and she says, oh, Holy Master, you are my hero. I want you to go first. So he does the move. And she goes to the next room. She says, Holy Master, I have tremendous respect for you, but I want to prove myself, so I want to go first. So he lets her. So he goes to the other room and watches what he does. She goes to the other room.
She loves me.
That's exactly what I do.
Oh my God.
What you guys tell, I'll go tell my husband.
Oh my God.
And he'll tell me exactly how to answer, meaning indirectly.
Yes.
So I come and play that with you guys.
Oh, really?
I do in real life.
Oh my God.
So you hear me.
Oh.
And so that's what it is about. So I think
Such a
life
good
is
deal.
so
I'm
much.
laughing.
So yes. So just laugh at it. Like, no, life is no
I
big
know,
deal.
right?
And don't kill him.
No, I won't.
This
Okay, so
week,
just-
love him. Think of him as love. You know, don't fear him. You know, do his pace. You're too fast for him.